Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined back by the one, the only Ashley Parker Angel.
Yes. So good to be back.
I mean, should I start just calling you S'more now or what?
I'm, I was called S'more the entire time because they keep it a mystery, so they don't call you your name. So I'm really used to it. Yes. I would love to be known as the S'more moving forward.
I mean, look, you grew up in music. You kind of, first making the band, you came to us at like an early age. Like, how was this experience different for you?
I've done so much reality TV. And of course, you mentioned making the band, did my own spinoff with MTV. Then I did Celebrity Cooking Showdown. I did Kelly Slater's Surf Invitational. I've done a lot of reality TV. And this was unlike anything I've ever done before. This is the most fun I've ever had doing reality TV. It is, I think, the perfect show.
Why?
Well, I just think it's so watchable. And I think the combination of it being a guessing game, plus a singing competition, plus all your favorite celebrities, like what's not to absolutely love about this show? I think season 10 was also next level. Of course, I'm biased, but I do feel like, when I got the call, it was hell yes, I'm in because I had taken a step away from performing for a little while. For the last couple of years, I've been focused on growing my health and wellness company. I've been focused on being an online fitness coach, and I've passed on a lot of things. I've passed on pretty much everything that's come my way. And my agent called me, and she was like, "You're not going to believe it," because she knows I'm a fan of the show. She was like, "They want you for the Masked Singer." I was like, "No hesitation whatsoever. I want to do this." Because if I was going to step back on stage again, I really wanted to be something fun, and I really feel like the Masked Singer is just so much fun. So it was just the most fun I've ever had doing a reality show.
How was it singing in the s'more costume?
Super challenging. I said yes, yes, give me all the choreography because you have these talks beforehand, and they're like, with your boy band past and Broadway experience, we want to give you a lot of dancing and a lot of choreography. And so I was like, hell yeah, give me all the choreo. I want to show off my moves. And then I got in the costume and I'm in a giant graham cracker body with marshmallow legs and fire boots and this huge mask that's really heavy on your whole frame. You're trying to carry this big costume. And that was like a different element of challenge that I had never experienced before. So there was a lot to overcome learning how to perform as the s'more. And I felt like each performance, I got a little better and a little better. And I felt like my best performance was the night I got unmasked for disco night.
Do you have a hard time saying no? Like you said, you get offered a lot of stuff to like to kind of get back on stage. Like, is it hard now that you've transitioned to fitness full time to kind of say no to some of these opportunities?
The other ones, to be honest, no, it wasn't hard saying no because I love what I'm doing so much. But I do think, performing is always going to be a part of who I am. For 20 years of my life, my adult life, that's all I did. So I'm never going to fully, I think, step away from performing in some capacity. But I did pivot completely away. I own and operate my own company, and it takes all my time and attention. So this was like, as opposed to a lot of other reality shows, as you know, David, like sometimes you have to do months away to do a reality show. And the cool thing about The Masked Singer is production actually is only like a couple weeks. So in terms of the time frame, it was also really perfect for someone in my position. I didn't have to take months and months away to go do a show. I could do it over the course of just a couple weeks. So it was the perfect opportunity at the perfect time.
How would you describe like the time in your life, like right after making the band? Because you were everywhere, O-Town was everywhere. Like, just if you had to sum up that time in a few words.
That was like riding a wave, and then the wave kind of crashed as the band broke up and the boy band bubble kind of burst, and it's like, what's next? And I was really motivated to continue showing off, or continue showcasing, I should say, showcasing that I was a songwriter and a singer. And so I got my own record deal, but I never thought that would turn into another reality show. MTV caught wind of the fact that I had signed a solo deal. And then all these, shows like Newlyweds were out. And so that was kind of the thing at the time. They're like, well, let's follow him going solo from the band. So I do feel like I lucked out because I feel like a lot of people that come out of a band don't necessarily get to have their own spin-off TV show. And I got really lucky that way. So I feel like I felt grateful for that opportunity because that ended up being another 3 years of my life. And it was sort of right after O-Town disbanded. So I feel really appreciative that I was able to do that.
How do you feel like you look at like, this summer and now into the fall, like Taylor Swift, the Eras tour, like this is the biggest thing I've ever seen. Like from the time you first were in the business, like how do you think the music business has changed?
I think social media has become such a huge part of music and sharing music, the music industry. I wish we had Instagram and TikTok and all these platforms back in the day. We did it, but in some ways, it kind of killed the music video. Like I think of the days of MTV's TRL, and when I talk to other like-minded people from this era that miss that time, I kind of miss the old days of the music video. I know that makes me sound old now, but I feel like I just miss coming home from school and being excited to watch TRL. But I do think there's I think this gives younger performers an opportunity that they didn't have before. So in the era of Taylor Swift, there's a lot more people being discovered, I think, from TikTok, Instagram, and social media that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been. And so I do think the barrier to entry is also a bit easier for the talent to rise to the top. So I think in some ways it's really changed the game for aspiring artists, singers, actors to put themselves out there and get noticed.
What about like we saw you last night on disco night sing That's the Way I Like It? Who are your like who'd you grow up like and like who are your musical icons or people you look up to or influences?
I grew up, I discovered my dad's 60s and 70s record collection and really got deep into all the 60s and 70s music, the classics. And then I really started loving like all the classic rock bands like Queen. And my mom was a piano teacher. So I was like begging her, please, please teach me how to play Bohemian Rhapsody and all these like amazing classic bands that you all know of and you grow up with. But then I have to say, as I look back on it now, the 90s to me is such a special time. And it's weird because when we were in the 90s, it felt like, is this a special time compared to the 80s, compared to the 70s? It didn't sometimes feel that way. But now looking back on it, I feel like 90s is one of the best decades of music, especially in pop music.